Hello, students. We're going to have a lesson where we're going to practice changing questions into statements, or down here, we're going to change statements into questions. So let's go through these exercises. First of all, what is a question? A question is when we are asking something. For example, is the sky blue? And then a statement is when we are just simply telling something. We're stating something. We're saying it as a fact. The sky is blue. Okay, so first we'll start with questions and we'll change these into statements. So this first question, it says, will you cook the meal at home? All we need to do to change this into a statement is we're going to switch these two words around. And we're going to say, you will cook the meal at home. Now it's a statement. We don't put a question mark because it's a statement. We just put a period. Okay, the next one. Do you enjoy hiking in the mountains? That's a question. Now, to make this into a statement, we don't need the do. The do was only added to make it into a question. So we drop the do and we say, you enjoy hiking in the mountains, period. Okay, this next one, it says, is the car parked under the tree yours? Now this part right here, the parked under the tree, is just telling us more about the car. It's specifying which car we're talking about. So what we're really asking is the car yours? So when we change this into a statement, we would say the car parked under the tree is yours. So we just simply rearranged the words. This one, can Karen swim 10 kilometers? All we need to do is rearrange these words too. So we're going to put Karen first. Karen can swim 10 kilometers, period. Now here it says, when is Debbie coming over? Now let's say we know the answer to that. We know when. Let's say that when is actually tomorrow. So when we give it as a statement, we're going to say Debbie, we'll start with Debbie, she's the subject. Debbie is coming over, and then we say the when, tomorrow, and there's our statement. Now here, the question is, does he have a question? What happened is we had to add, to make this into a question, the word does had to be added. And because it's the first word, we have two words that go for the verb. We have does and have. And the first word in the verb has the S because it's a third person singular. He is third person. Okay, I is first person. You is second person. He is third person. And when we have third person singular, when it's just one person, we have to have that S. Okay, so the does was added rather than do. Now, when we change it to a statement, we'll start with our subject, he, and we're dropping the does. We don't need it anymore. But because we're dropping it to make it into a statement, we need the S. So we're going to put it in the have. So it's he has a question. And there's our statement. He has a question. All right, next. Did you have a good flight? Here, this one is past tense, did. And the rest of the verb is over here, have. So we're going to take this past, because did is past tense, the answer needs to also, the statement needs to also be in past tense. So you, and then we're going to drop the did because it's no longer a question, but we need to put the past tense into the have. So how do you make have become past tense? You say had. You had a good flight. There's our statement. Okay, coming down here. Would you like a coffee refill? You would like a coffee refill. Period. That's a statement. Are you ready to go? You are ready to go. Period. That's a statement. And then last one for the questions. Do they want to play on our team? We had to add the do to make it a question. Now we can just drop it. They want to play on our team. There's our statement. Okay, now here we're going to change the statements into questions. So we're going to go the other way around. It says John is coming over today. So we will switch these two words around and we will say, is John coming over today? And there's our question. Now here, the second one, the British take sports seriously. To make that into a question, we need to add the word do. And we're going to choose do because British is plural. It's not a singular third person. It is third person. It's not I and it's not you. So it is third person, but British is a lot more than just one person. So we don't put does, we're going to put do. Do the British take sports seriously? And there you go, there's the question. Now on this next one, it says, you went to the game with your friend. If we're going to ask that, we need to add a word. The question is, do we add do, does, or did? Okay, well, it's you, so it's not third person singular. Okay, so we don't use does. So do we use do or did? Well, it's went. Went is past tense, so we need did. So we choose did you. Now, since we have the past tense in the did, that D at the end of did means it's past tense. We aren't going to put the past tense into the next word, which is the other part of the verb. Okay, so instead of went, we're going to say go. Did you go to the game? Oops. Did you go to the game with your friend? Okay. Here, you have a few questions for me. I'm going to move this down here. Here we have, it's you, so we don't use does. And then because we are asking a question now. We're going to add a do. We need to have this other part of the verb. So do you have a few questions? Do you have a few questions for me? All right, next, you were talking with Ben. We have two verb words here. We're just gonna put were first, were, and then put the you. Were you talking with Ben? And there you go. Here it says they work for the electric company. We need to add another word. So we don't want to use does because does is for third person singular. And they is third person, but it's not singular, it's plural. So we use do. Do they work for the electric company? Okay, here he is enjoying the sunshine. All we need to do is switch the words around. Is he enjoying the sunshine? Okay, you will come to my party. We have our two verb words here. We're just going to put the you in the middle. Will you come to my party? There's our question. Okay, here, all we have is one verb word, and it's third person singular. He has a good job. We need to add a word to make this a question. We need to add another verb word. And because it's third person singular, which word are we going to add? We're going to add does. Does he, now because we have the does, we have the S here in does, we don't need it again. So we're going to change the has to have. Does he have a good job? All right, and then last one, you like green olives. We want to change this to a question. We only have one verb word here. We need to add a verb word, and since it's you, we're adding do. Do you like green olives? And there you go. Those were our questions and statements.